Hey guys, so today's video, I know it's been a minute since my last one, but today's video is how I did this. So this happened on the 6th of July. I don't remember much of what happened, but that's the day that I broke my hand. So let's start at the beginning. So yeah, the 6th of July, I did break my hand, but there is a lead up to it. I just didn't freak out and just punch a wall like a crazy person. I am crazy, but not that crazy. So what had happened is about 2 months before my hand, I went and seen a doctor who put me on some fresh medications. Don't ask me what it is, but if I find it, I'll put it here. As well as fluoxetine, which is sort of like Prozac for here in Australia. Now Prozac, what it does with my mental health, by the way, I have borderline personality disorder, the BPD one. It used to be bipolar mixed with IED, but one of the higher up therapists changed it into borderline personalities because I black out. So anyway, they put me on these new meds. Now, Prozac, what it does is it sort of introduces another personality into my head. And we call her Doormat because she says yes to fucking anything and she shits us. Things that me and the other system, I guess, would say no to, she would be like, oh my God, yes. I'm like, no. So we call her Doormat and we don't like her very much. But then this other pill that they put me on sort of got rid of that voice like by half. So the Doormat was sort of in, but sort of not. I'm sorry if none of this makes any sense. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It just happens. So yeah, this other pill that they put me on to sort of reverse the effects of the fluoxetine, the Prozac, sort of halved that voice. So she was still there, but we could overpower her. But then it sort of, my other personality, my crazy one, like she's the one that did this. She was the one that basically copped all of my abuse when I was younger. She was my protector. She is very, very angry. Let's say she's not a nice person. So yeah, where was I going with this? So yeah, anyway, what had happened was I was on these meds for 3 weeks and it felt like it was okay, like it was doing its job. But my bitch, instead of her coming out normally how I expect her to come out, she was coming out about 10 minutes before I was going to sleep and giving me these friggin' flashbacks that were just incredible. So then I couldn't sleep. Eventually when I did fall asleep, I didn't dream, which is kind of unusual for me, but sort of not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I do. Anyway, so that happened for about 3 weeks where she was coming out before I would go to sleep and I would have to try and get rid of her. And then after that 3 weeks, I noticed that she wasn't coming out before I went to sleep. She was coming out in my sleep. So I had no idea. So all of a sudden, my dreams of just normal dreams were turning into nightmares. And again, all these flashbacks back to my past and everything like that. It was just messing with my head and I wasn't getting much sleep because I was back when I was a child again and I don't want to do that. So then that had been happening right up until I did this, and then something happened that day. Like I woke up and I wasn't me on the 6th. So went to work. I again didn't feel like me. I felt off. apparently I was like really, really nasty to Nathan, like all day without even like warranting it. Like he didn't do anything wrong. So we ended up calling it early that day. I think we were in a bomb clean or something. So we were on our way home, and again, I don't really know much of what happened. I was sort of not here. I was sort of Sophie and me and disconnected really, really badly. So my memory is shocked. So most of this is just things that I can remember mixed with things that he told me and things that sort of came to me afterwards. So apparently what happened was about, I think it was lunchtime, we ended up going shopping, and for some reason I cracked it. I stopped the car in the middle of the road, like cars behind me, and just started walking home. Now home is like 10 k's away. I jumped out of the car with no phone, no shoes, no drink. I just started walking along the highway. I'd like to say that was my first time, but it's not. I get out of speeding cars quite often. It's not something I'm proud of, but if I have to get out, I'll get out of wherever I need to be alone. So I ended up walking about 2 k's before my mum came and picked me up off the side of the highway. And me and her, she drove me home. We went down the park and I vented for a while. And then I came home and I thought we'd forget about it and just move on. Like, just pretend that the morning and that day never happened. It's just like, start again. Apparently that's not what happened. Something again triggered me. I still don't know what. But, yeah, I was begging Nathan to leave and he didn't. For whatever reason, I think it's because when Sophie's out, all she wants to do is make people leave and make me be on my own, which is bad, because when I'm alone with Sophie, it's, yeah, it's not fun. So he doesn't like to leave when Sophie's out because of what she might do to me or whatever. So last thing I remember was blacking out, was just being really, 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 really angry with Nathan and begging him to leave. And then that's it. Then my memory kicks back in at about an hour afterwards. So in that hour, what I had done is punched a wall, but it was a wall that I had already punched, so I knew where the studs were in the wall. And I'm like, I just fixed this wall and I'm gonna put my hands through it again. If I hit the stud, then I won't have to fix the hole. I know, right? Up there for thinking. So I think that's what happened. So I think this one came in first and hit the stud and broke. I didn't feel it. Nothing, not a thing. All I needed to do at that time was see destruction and just let all this anger out. So I did on my wall. Here's how it looks now. So you can sort of see, like here somewhere, like on this side, that was the stud that I'm gonna guess that I punched. And then I just kept going through. So I ended up going through 2 walls and having all these bruises like all the way up here. Again, didn't hurt. So then after I punched the hole in the wall, I basically told myself I was moving out. So I moved like a big ass recliner that didn't just slide through a door. I had to tip it and fold it and maneuver it into the new house that I was going to be moving into. As well as a TV, my big 1940s radiogram that's friggin' huge and heavy. As well as moving bags, and oh my God, I moved so much stuff. And by the time I came through, I was sitting down on my chair, about to start watching TV, and I don't know, I'm sitting there like this and I'm like, why can't I move my hand? So I started looking and I noticed that my pinky knuckle was gone. I'm like, that's not right. I might have to go to hospital. So I ended up telling Mum that I'm gonna ruin her night and we got to go to hospital. So that's what we did. Waited around there for ages. Talked to a couple more people with kids who had mental health as well. So that really helped Mum understand this a little bit more. After we got x-rays and everything like that done, I didn't even get to see a doctor, nothing. They just took an x-ray, moved me back out. I'm like, look, is it broken or anything like that? And yeah, sure enough, it was broken. Ta-da! So then we ended up getting a half cast put onto it, which I didn't mind because it was half. I could take it off, it didn't mess with my OCD. But then I had to sit there and wait for the fracture clinic to see if I needed surgery or not a couple of days afterwards. Apparently I didn't need surgery. Yay for me. I'm thinking that because of all the dragging and the moving that I did with my hands after I broke it, I think that might have helped push everything back in place, pull it back in place, straighten it out, whatever. And then that was it. I wasn't even really going to do a video about this because it's just everyday life for me. But you guys seem to be really interested in the fact that I can't feel it. Even the doctors were freaked out that I couldn't feel it. Like when they were putting the cast on the first time, like on the 6th at that night, the guy's like, oh, we'll put you on some gas and it'll make you laugh and you won't feel anything. I'm like, dude, I don't feel anything now, just do it. And he's like, are you sure? Because I'm going to have to like push your knuckle back out and set your hand like this. Mind you, I can't move it now, so that's really gonna suck. I can't feel anything, just do it. So he was kind of freaked out, but he did it. Yeah. Do you want to see what it looks like now? The strange thing about it, when I got told that I wasn't going to need surgery and therefore not going to need like a full-on cast, like one that you can't take off, I was so bummed. Because I've got a child somewhere in my head. She was so pissed off and she was so upset that we couldn't get a pink cast for everybody to sign. So I felt really bad, and so I had to figure out a way to get a pink cast. So all I did was this, the pink that I used for my hair. That's all I did, was just soak a bandage in pink hair dye. So handy hint. Here we go. So it's just a half cast. They were going to put me in a full one. So I did have the option, but I had to say no because my OCD affects my personal hygiene. When I get into the shower, I couldn't wash my hand. What? Are you serious? That's gross. No, that was not going to happen. I'd rather deal with a 7-year-old who can't have a pink cast than have to deal with my crazy, irrational self standing in a shower for 4 hours because I can't get out because I haven't washed my hand. No. So yeah, just a half cut. So this is it now. So the bone, I think it's called the metacarpal or something, but it's this bone along here. So it basically broke there. And then this knuckle went away completely, like it was sunk so bad. I've sort of got a knuckle there now. I can feel it. My skin's a little bit like pins and needly and a little bit stingy to touch. That red spot there is just like a pressure sore from my friggin' cast. But yeah, that's it. I'm a little bit worried because I can't, like that's straight. Like, that's straight to me. And then that's fully bent. When before, I was like, super flexible. Like, oh! Now I can't do much. But yeah. That's the story on how I broke my hand. I'm not sure it was that interesting, but now you know. I will keep you updated. This Friday, I actually go back to the hospital for my last x-ray, just to make sure that the bone is healing correctly, and then I will get the all good to be completely out of the cast, which I can't wait for. I am so sick and tired of it. I just want to be normal again. But yeah. Thanks for watching, I guess. Bye.